Yeah, but yeah, it got me thinking. I was like, Viltrumites or Kryptonians?
Oh, Viltrumites, 100%. Yeah,
Like
there's no question
I
about
was like,
that.
I don't. Am I jumping to conclusions? But like,
No, I would go the
I'm
exact same
thinking
way. So.
Viltrumites might destroy some shit.
Because from my understanding of I haven't really I haven't like dove into the comic side of Invincible itself or like the graphic novels. So I don't know. Like I might have missed this, or they explained it in like season one, and I just forgot. But like Viltrumites are just naturally strong,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah,
So like,
they don't require the yellow sun to be.
yeah, originally they all didn't have powers. You know, it's kind of like over time.
That's right, and like they were, and that was part of his whole
And
read
then
my books thing, because
and
he
then
was
also
talking.
and then also like, because also Nolan, he was a liar as well. From what I understood from this YouTube video about the Viltrumite history, you know, he gave his, you know, washed truth of, you know, the Viltrumites mission and everything, you know, obviously, and then he, you know, tried to destroy Earth. But they are also like genetically enhanced and with technology, and you know, they culled the weak from the bloodlines and stuff until they became this, you know, superior race and things like that. And so then once they got to that point, you know, there was no more, you know, fighting within, no more killing each other. And so basically their whole culture is a military culture. So, you know, they're born, you know, to, you know, obey their parents and then serve in the military. Like
They're space Spartans.
Yeah, basically, yeah,
Like,
space Spartans.
I did something weird. I'm sorry. We're back.
I was like, oh, did he just think of a song in his head? Okay.
No, just
I've had mo-
that was just impulse. I was like, you should do that. Why not?
I mean, that's how greatness is made. You know,
Yeah, I was like, you know
joke.
what, other me, you're right.
I don't listen to you often, but something's telling me now is the time.
Like, do we like this other Barry? Yes, we do, other Barry.
Oh man, what is going on, nerds? Welcome back to the Nerdcast podcast. I'm super happy to be back. So glad to be in this space, in this room,
Mhm. I
hanging
would
out.
be happier, but my Cubs painting over here, or picture of Wrigley Field, fell.
Mm.
I had it hung up here, but it fell. So whatever. But hey,
It's
I'm still happy to be here.
it's depressing looking at it on the floor like that.
It is. It is. But I gotta figure something out because the command strips didn't do it.
Oh yeah, we were talking about it earlier.
No,
We got a bone to pick with big command strips. You know,
come at me, bro.
messing up, you know, our memorabilia, you know, our stuff.
Hmm.
These things mean a lot.
A little bitter, a little bitter, but hey, it's also negative 30 degrees. But you know,
There's other things we can complain about.
yeah.
Maybe the weather. Yeah, negative 30 degrees. It's that's complaining weather.
No,
That's
like thankfully, like it's not a pure negative 30 degrees. It's negative 15 with a negative 15 wind chill.
you guys hear this, man?
And you
It's
want to
it's
know the
not
best thing?
it's not a
School
pure
wasn't canceled.
it's not a pure that's crazy, by the
Yeah.
way. But
Hmm.
he says it's not a pure negative 30. It's just negative 15 with the, you know, it feels like negative 30 with the wind,
Hmm.
So we're good.
Yeah.
No, no,
That-
no, no. You're traumatized
Hey, I
and
mean,
you are just trying, you are hurt and
I mean,
you're
yeah.
you're now brainwashed to believe that is okay. Like that
I
weather is
mean,
okay. It's not.
hey, you better be ready because it might be like this or worse in April.
Woo. I'm gonna be wearing a couple layers. I'm gonna wear three
I would
suits.
suggest it. Yeah, I would
I'm gonna wear
suggest it.
three suits.
Oh my God.
Like, all right, it's time to dance. Let me take off my suits.
Like, all right, hold on.
It's gonna take a while. Oh man. Okay, so that is one of the best cold opens we've ever had to this podcast.
It was literally about the cold.
Yeah, see what we did there.
Yeah.
See what we did there? No, but we got a good show for you guys today. We got a few things. A few things to talk about. A few things that've been going on. Some things that have happened. I don't want to, get too crazy, but the Eagles won the Super Bowl.
It
Yeah,
happened.
that
It
that
happened.
that happened. Did I mean, I
It,
didn't. I believed in
that
my
that
team
that
now.
city was ready to
Oh my
put
god!
that coach just on the cross. They were ready to
Look,
burn him at it.
look. One thing. What have I been consistent on telling you about Philly sports? We are harsh, but we are fair. You don't have to be good in this city. You just have to want to be here. You gotta
Or
love
you
it.
just have to have a Saquon Barkley have the most amazing running back year of all
That
time.
is true. But even before we went to the Super Bowl, Nick Sirianni had won the city back. Winning does a lot of help on that. But you stop, you know, bitching so much. Stop trying to place blame on others and just do the damn job. Do the damn job. AJ Brown, you're annoying, but I love you.
At least he's reading.
Yes, yes. Yes, I am a big advocate for reading, but time and place, my friend.
But then
But
also, I mean, man, Jalen just looked great too. Was not
yes, yep.
the
I
old soul
mean,
stepped up after
he
all the criticism? Like, damn.
broke a record for longest streak without a turnover in the playoffs. First turnover was in the Super Bowl, which didn't matter because we were belt to ass the entire game.
Mhm.
Just full throttle.
Dude, the Chiefs were just not. They didn't show up to play. They truly
they
didn't.
and the thing is, they tried. It was just they had nothing. They had nothing
I,
for that line. Our
I,
line was
yeah,
just like I seen it happening the entire time. I tried to say the Commanders game was going to be a lot closer, but we're just a little bit too violent of a team. you know, I I tried to be a realist about it.
Yeah.
Tried to, be subtle,
Not that you were subtle.
I just
Work.
I didn't want to be too optimistic and get my heart broken. And then they go out and, do that, destroy them by halftime. I mean, you gotta think about it. When it's 26-0 by halftime, you're like, I don't know. I don't know. I, I don't want my team to be the team to have the colossal collapse.
Right.
Because it's the Chiefs. You're like, no way they're just going to end like this. It's going to come down to the wire. They're going to come back. The Eagles are going to piss me off like they always do. They're going to piss me off and start letting Patrick Mahomes be Patrick Mahomes. And then it's going to come down to the wire. It's going to come down to the wire. I had watched
and
the pod.
it didn't.
And I was getting super scared because I had listened to a podcast a few days before, and they had Ricky Williams on. If you guys don't know, Ricky Williams is now like has his master's in astrology or something like
I
that.
think so. Yeah.
And like he's a professor or something, and he knows his stuff about astrology, and he does these things where he like use astrology to make predictions, and sometimes that should be right. So, and then he had said it looks like the Eagles victory but I'm seeing the Chiefs making a stand, but the Eagles coming out at the end. So, and then he tried to like translate. He's like, so maybe it's going to be like, it's going to come down to the last play, and then like a flag will determine the end of the game. I was like, oh my God, I don't want to believe in things like this right now, but I'm an Eagles fan. When it comes to football, you're like, forget what you do every day in your life and everything you believe. Astrology is real. And so I'm like, okay, what if he read it wrong? What if it was the Eagles? What if it was the Chiefs winning by a flag? Because they always do that.
That's true.
So the halftime show happened. Distracted me for a bit. It made me stop sweating. I was feeding into the optimism. Like, oh my God, we're going to win. My dad's a pessimist, and we're with him. He's one of those old school pessimist fans, always mad about something, even when everything's going right.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to circle back to the halftime show. But come out of halftime, third quarter starts. Patrick Mahomes hikes the ball and immediately gets sacked. And I was like, okay. So we did take a foot off the gas. It's belt the ass the entire game. All right, let's do this. I'm good. All right, we can cool down, unwind a little bit, let's go ahead and chug this beer, Dad. Yeah, it was great. But that happened. I got my Super Bowl Licks hoodie. And all is right in the world. Right? Maybe.
I mean,
we can pretend. We can pretend.
I've tried so hard.
I tell you what, Eagles fans are living in a different world currently.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, because I live in North Carolina. It's hard to forget about the world.
Yeah.
They kind of wear it on their sleeves. But that halftime show, what did you think of the halftime show, my friend?
Dude, I loved it. Like so I appreciated like the simplicity of it. I appreciated that it wasn't all about like the extras. It wasn't about like what are they gonna put on the stage? What are they gonna like, how many fire like effects are we gonna see and stuff like that?
How many guests is he gonna have?
Right. Like it was super straightforward and simplistic, which I think is exactly what needs to happen. Because like I think don't get me wrong, I still like I think Rihanna's performance is still one of the best performances that I've seen in my Super Bowl like lifetime. Um, and like she obviously did a lot with her show, especially like with the floating like rafter and everything. That was crazy. Also, she was pregnant when she did it. Let's not forget this. Um, but like
Different levels.
yeah, but
Not
yeah,
even
like
like not even like
I just I appreciate it, and like a lot of the things that happened were just subtle, and I think that is even like the best part. I mean, especially when I was watching it and I was just when I was just sitting there. I was like, all right, I was vibing out a bit, and then all of a sudden I see like they just show the woman doing the crip walk, and I was like. Is that Serena Williams?
same. I was like, hey, oh, wait,
Yeah,
is that's random.
yeah. So, I mean, I when I saw that, I was like, "Oh, that's amazing!" Like this kind of just like helped to seal the deal for me. And then especially when at that like during the part of the performance where they were like inside the X of the controller buttons, that part I really love because all of a sudden, while like Kendrick is just rapping, he just slowly like rises up into the camera from like beneath, and I was like, I don't know why, I just appreciated that. I was like, that's just like I don't know, it was just cool. But yeah, I mean, overall, I loved it, man. Like there was a lot of different things put in there. And the fact that he even just straight up dropped Drake's name. It, it just didn't even like he's like, I'm not gonna
Not
beat around the bush.
just drop. My
And
man. My man
also
hit a
just bringing Mustard out there just to be his hype man, it was also great.
he hit he hit every nail on the head for me. And I don't I don't want to call people who didn't love the performance as much as I did a hater.
I do.
Although majority of the people that didn't like performance as much as I did are because there are people that look at things through different lenses, not just the lens that we were thinking that we're plainly thinking about, the obvious one.
Mm.
Think about it from the perspective of Super Bowl lovers, Super Bowl halftime show zealots, if you will. I'm serious. Like
Yeah.
people will die in the hill. Like, don't come close to Rihanna's halftime show performance. Don't even come close to it. No, no, no. Yours
Mm.
wasn't good because that's the thing about our society nowadays. You can't. There's no like liking one thing more than the other. A little bit. It's like this one was the best. This one sucks. It's
Yeah.
everything's always like a serious competition. It's always super drastic, So some people walk up to it already with that kind of like his energy is super low. Look at that, not even hating on him for
Yeah.
the obvious reason. the message he's
Yeah.
sending, the person, the opposition that who the message is supposed to go to, one of the oppositions that the message is supposed to go to, which is Drake. He has a huge fan base, and
Still.
those Drake fans, man, they something else.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, man, because look,
So did
I'm not gonna act like I never rocked with any Drake songs. Like
I did. Yeah. I
look,
still have songs.
did y'all not listen to what Kendrick said? What Kendrick said? I like Drake when the melodies, not so much when he acts tough. Like that's the thing. Like, he got he's got some hits. Everybody like pushing this new album of his, like it's like the second coming of I don't know, like what
I
I
forgot he was even
like and look, as a music fan and somebody who wants to listen to good music, and Drake sometimes drops some good music, I checked it out. I got 3 songs in. I was like, this is one of his love albums, not my thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't rock with those albums of his.
No.
I can't stand them.
Yeah, again,
Cannot
like
stand. Can't judge
not the
them.
target audience, and I get it.
Can't
Like,
judge
yeah,
them. Like personally, like I'll put it this way: Future. I am not a Future fan. I look at Future the same way I look at Gucci. I'm like, what? What is the What is the deal? Same with Migos. What is the deal? But
that's a good one. Yeah.
I can't deny their influence on hip hop and the culture a little bit.
Yeah. No,
Not so
yeah.
much the Migos. I'm not a huge fan of like they're a little bit less important
I
in the
feel like
culture. Future,
Migos took a bit of a hit recently that it's
yeah,
just
but
like
they were
there's
never
nothing
really
there.
that sustainable. I don't
No.
think. Future, he's kind of like carved out his lane like a T-Pain type. His voice is a certain instrument that people need on certain songs.
Mm-hmm.
So I see that. And he has some songs that I love that are in my playlist. He has like 4 that I will play to this day. Like, say with Gucci, majority of his catalog, not for me.
No.
Not for me. But he got some bangers. Like
Mm-hmm.
so I don't look at it as the hating on Drake type thing. It's just the album's not that good. Sorry guys, the
No.
album's not that good.
No.
Like it's
And,
not.
I mean, like, and yeah, I mean, yeah, and like you could say the same thing about a lot of our favorite artists too. I mean, hell, like Kid Cudi, still one of my favorite artists of all time, but he's had so many flops.
Yeah. Honestly, I was scared about his last album, but it was honestly a surprise.
It
A
was getting
very
back
good.
to
I was like,
where he
wow.
started, and
I was
it was
like,
like, all right,
and
yeah,
I love Kid Cudi, but I ain't gonna lie when it comes to like how good your music is.
no, because if I don't like feel a goosebump anywhere, it's just
Yeah,
not doing
if
it.
you don't feel that smile creep up on you, you just start
Hmm.
like
Or you have to like do a double take. You're like, wait, wait,
and
what?
look, there are some albums where you have to listen to it twice
Yeah,
to be like, okay, I rocks with this. I like it a lot, But
yeah,
the
yeah. I'm glad we Rick Kendrick killed it because he did.
and look, if you don't get the messaging that Kendrick was sending, you don't have to hate on it. You don't have to call it trash. You don't have to call it the worst Super Bowl ever because we've all seen pretty pretty bad Super Bowl performances before.
Mhm.
You can just go look up, you know, what the messaging was. We're always on TikTok and Facebook and Google's right there. Look it up. People broke it down for you. Just go read it out. If you don't like it, that means you a hater.
Do
That's
the
all it means.
research.
You just say I don't like what he was doing and what he said. I don't like none of that shit. I don't like that
Like,
there was no white people.
Yeah,
What's up, buddy?
I was calling your name like a million times.
He's calling you like a million times. Oh, hold on. What's up, buddy? But no, if you were mad that there was no white people on the stage, then you're probably just hating on the entire performance, and you're
or
probably hating on
a
something else
certain
also.
aspect,
Yeah, because
something with melanin.
let's be honest, how many halftime shows in history didn't have a single black person or brown person on that stage? Do we want to dig in those archives?
Mhm. I mean, what? Like, Yeah, Coldplay. I think you
Just say,
had
just saying. Let's just not say things
yeah.
that we don't really mean.
Mhm.
Say what you mean. The
Right.
discussion could be a lot quicker. But
Yeah, like save everybody some time.
saves the headache. Don't be lying. Don't be
Oh yeah.
lying. Don't be lying.
Right? Like don't it just it's so much effort. Because then eventually it's gonna come back. And you're just gonna hate what's gonna happen
It always comes back.
every
Always.
single time.
Like old tweets. They come back. Oh
Ruin
man.
careers. Anyways,
Yeah. Don't Kendrick yourself.
yeah. Don't piss someone off enough that they're like, you know what? I'm gonna dedicate a whole album to how much I hate you.
Dedicate the rest of my career to doing my job perfectly and getting enough dirt to ruin yours.
Let's also just quick circle back to the amount of people that were singing his song at the Grammys when he won. And then on top
Bro,
of that, being able to be the Super Bowl performer and having triple the amount of people.
bro. People are like, people. That's how people say it. Like, oh my god, they were only loud on that one part of the of of his most popular song from that album. So
So,
there was still everyone in unison saying that. What are you talking about? And also, like you just said,
yeah, he had Taylor Swift
all the
singing that
important
song.
all the important people at the most important place for winning awards were singing that. So miss me with that, man. I'm sorry. Like that's it's a weak argument. It's and like the main thing is people don't even want to continue this argument. You know, it could have been done. It could have been over. I mean, Drake is being weird, taking shots at his friends like LeBron and
You come back
you
me
know
up. LeBron's like,
the fans on the internet just be posting weird stuff. More the things get weirder every day. It's just like,
so then has Drake just become the new Diddy?
I mean,
Like,
I don't know. Oh, I don't know because
also, I like half watched the
Diddy's
Diddy
allegations.
documentary, and
I've been skeptical in watching it
yeah,
because I'm like
dude.
that's I gotta like mentally prepare myself for the things that are in there.
Yeah, I was in and out. Today I watched the whole thing, and I like even the parts I heard, I was just like, oh my God, dude. Like
Uh, yeah, I
it
don't
was
know.
it was all literally right there. And I also
Yeah.
saw an interview of Kiki Palmer asking, like, interviewing Usher, and like that was a topic that came up. But then you could see that Usher was getting real uncomfortable. So Kiki Palmer was like, let's switch it up. Because
Mm,
Usher was like 13 when he met Diddy. So, like, it's like, ugh.
man.
Yeah, wild. Anyways, circle back.
We all said that to say sometimes you got to just we all need to learn how to take L's and move on because
This is true.
can things can only get worse.
And like
And
our Lord and Savior Kendrick said, be humble.
sit down. Oh man. So we got a pretty good show aside from that pre-show that we just did. We got some, you know, some Invincible season 3 talk. We got some solo leveling season 2 talk, you know, Blurred Station, Blurred Con announcements, what's your nerd
And
announcements.
quick introduction to a guest that our boy Sutton's going to be able to interview, which is going to be exciting.
Yes, yes, yes. But and then we got our top five. We got a top five for you today. I'm not sure what, but we'll
It'll
figure it
be
out.
something. It'll be something.
Oh, but I do want to start off with Invincible.
I
Man,
mean, damn,
dude,
damn.
this I feel like Invincible and The Boys, they do this to me every single time. They take forever to drop their seasons, which drives me insane. But when they get here, man, do they deliver? They deliver.
Always, always.
uh
It,
Now go ahead.
I mean, like it's truly like I think a perfect show. Like I really have a hard time even trying to like think of something that would be nitpicky about it. I just the way that it's being rolled out and just even from like I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with the casting itself. I think every single person casted is so perfect, especially J.K. Simmons, man, as Omni-Man. I just love his voice, and he's already an intimidating person. Specifically for me was Whiplash, where he just became the scariest man alive to me. Because he's an insane band director, and I think we've all, anyone that was in band probably has experienced that. So little PTSD from
I
wildness.
I need to watch that show. Is it a movie or a show?
It's a movie. It's a really,
Okay, yeah.
it's a good movie, but it's also kind of like you said with the Diddy thing. You got to be in the mood for it because it gets intense and
Yeah, I
like
mean,
yeah,
me and my wife, we saw the trailer for it, and we were like, "Why have I never heard of this? Like, I
that's a good one.
never heard of that movie." Like,
Because I think did he win an Oscar for that? I think he won an Oscar for that movie or got nominated for it. Anyways, but yeah, Invincible Man, like God, just the progression and just the reminder that everybody is going through their own shit, no matter how perfect or strong they are. Like it just hits you over and over again.
yeah,
And also, I mean, the gore is just, it's hard to not enjoy
it's just man, it
it.
is
Yeah.
comical. It's beautiful too. Like the way the sounds, like they just they do it up. Like I said, this show walks hand in hand with The Boys for me. So like you said, immediately when this season starts, Invincible's back, stronger, better than ever. He's been pumping some iron,
Mhm.
and then he finds out that Cecil has been keeping some secrets.
He's been doing Cecil things.
And no, it's not really surprising, but
Yeah.
look, he's 19, had a lot of traumatic shit happen within the past 2 years.
On top
Uh,
of just, that's a sensitive time period
it
for anybody.
On top of it being a sensitive time period, on top of getting his powers super late.
On top
Um,
of just being a late bloomer in high school, getting the nerve to ask the hot girl out, then getting that, and it just falls apart.
yeah. On top of finding out his dad lied to everybody, he considered his mom as a pet and beat him to a bloody pulp, and then went to a different planet, reformed, and had a baby, and then disappeared again. So, or got arrested. Um, I say all that to say there's a big argument on the internet. Who was in the wrong, Mark or Cecil? It has everyone super divided. I made a meme about it and posed a question, and man, it, I posted it in a couple different groups, and they had some opinions, some
Yeah, people are
strong
worked up, man.
ones, and they were not all on the same side. It was just probably like 50-50 split.
Yeah. I
So from your perspective, what do you think? Who was in the wrong?
I mean, look, I'll start off with this. I'm a Batman fan through and through, and what I appreciate about Batman is he's prepared, and I think that's what I appreciate about Cecil. That's a very realistic thing for him to be worried about. it's not that he necessarily thinks that, he's going to be the same as his dad. I think it's that recognition that this is a young person who has been thrown into the worst situation anyone could ever imagine. Like, your dad is the top hero of the entire world and basically universe, more or less, in your understanding of it and of the entire planet's understanding of it. And then that just flips like on you on a dime, where he's trying to kind of hide the secret but push you towards it and then just force you into it and then beat you for not wanting to be a mass murderer. And then, like you said, disappear. All of a sudden, like, he convinces, that's not even like he helps this new alien race before he throws himself into a black hole. And now all of a sudden, like, these aliens are worshiping him as their emperor by their choice, mind you. That he told them everything, and they're like, no, you're clearly a different person now, because in their lifespan,
You're a
they
good
only
dude,
live,
bro.
yeah, they only live like, what was it, like a week, something like
I
that.
can't. I don't even think it's that short, but it's very short though.
Yeah, because like
It might be.
they're
It might.
insects. Yeah, so like their time span is very short.
Yeah.
So they're like, whatever, new person, we're moving on, and it's like, but for all of that to happen, on top of dealing with that whole mind control octopus alien thing that's going on from the group, like in Mars and all that crap,
Yeah. He's
like,
got a
dude,
lot on his plate.
so yeah, like the kid has a lot going on. So like I understand Cecil wanting to be prepared, and I guess part of me, if I have to pick a side, I would probably side with Cecil because
I do like that you're siding with Caesar because I am siding with Mark, but I'll let you
like
finish.
it's one of those things where you have seen what his dad can do, and his dad was calm when he did all that. Oh, and so like for a young emotional person just to be able to end the world more or less because he's holding back. And when he stops holding back, especially when you see him fighting what's her name's brother that can also duplicate himself,
Yeah,
like you see him turn into a
Kate's bro.
pure
It,
savage right there.
yeah, I mean, I do like that you started off by saying that you're a Batman fan, and you saying that. I always say I don't disagree with Cecil, and I don't agree with Mark.
Mhm.
But if we're asking who is in the wrong, I believe it is Cecil. And it's not because of what he did, it's because the way he did it.
That's fair.
Like you're just saying, like he knows all these things that happened to Mark. And so you have to handle it completely different. You have to have Mark in on it. You have to be hard on Mark, but you also have to be that father figure that he needs. Or you have to have somebody in place that'll train him and do it for you. Because aside from the powers, teenagers are volatile,
Mhm.
and especially teenagers that go through traumatic things. So the way it ended, he did all that planning, all
Mhm.
the Batman shit. The difference between Batman and what Batman does and what Cecil does is like Batman had this plan for the Justice League and they got all upset. They're adults.
Yeah.
They've lived a life. They've seen things and experienced things. They can get over that and understand it quicker because they've been in this militant lifestyle
Mhm.
forever. You know, Mark isn't. He's maturing at the same time while being it. So you know, you have to let him know, hey, we got to go at this stuff like Spartan style. You have to live your life inside this military base with us. You have to grow up in here. You got to be one of us. I'm sorry, but you can't be a normal kid because you're not.
Mhm.
You have to be. And yes, you're risking him. I've had an argument with somebody, saying like, well, what if he doesn't agree with you? Well, guess what? He doesn't agree with him now, and Cecil thought he could take him down, and he failed. That's the problem with these contingency plans when you go at it from a blind side, when you pretend to be somebody's friend. You create a bond, a fake bond, and the betrayal hurts. So it'll be that wrath will be a lot worse than a wrath of him disagreeing with you in the beginning and doing that, because when he finds out, you're screwed. You are screwed. You are in the same position you were in the first place, and now he's probably going to hunt you if he doesn't, for some reason, has someone in his corner and say, hey, it's still wrong. You could create a worse monster. That's the only thing. Like, I don't disagree with Cecil. It's just you put everyone at a greater risk when you lie. That's just how I feel. And I've seen way too many movies where it ends like this. I mean, like people in their arguments were like, Mark's bright burn ass. I'm like, exactly, like that's my thing. Like, look at Homelander's kid. He's screwed up, man. Like, come on, man. Like, you can't lie to these potential monsters. You can't treat them like monsters in the shadows and then in their face say we're family, and then when they find out you thought I was a monster the whole time, monster here now. Like, there's nothing we can do if we don't have their trust. We have to. This is why the South Park episode exists, where aliens quarantine the world. We just don't, like, we always want to come at things from the militant aspect and be like, okay, but what if we have to kill these? Like, let's meet them first. Like, obviously they stronger than us because they got here.
Look at the pilgrims. Like, these people are nice and they're helping us, but we should probably take them out, right? Yeah.
Like, look, man, like, but I mean, saying, like, that's a very good call right there. Like, it all makes sense. It's all
that is all very, very good reasons. I think a big part for me to still like side with like Cecil on things is like there were examples of him like really trying hard to work with Mark, but then Mark was the one to be like, well, no, I don't like the way you're doing this.
Oh, a teenager says some teenager shit, huh?
Yeah.
A teenager says some teenager shit, huh?
Yeah, so like,
and now you just, okay. He said no one time. Implant time.
No, he said no plenty of times. He has said no plenty of times.
Yeah, I understand.
And then how many times has he gone back to Cecil to be like, all right, you were right?
How many times has he ever gone on a murderous rampage?
He literally murdered all those copies. It's still living people.
I'm talking about before that.
Oh, in that universe, none. But in other universes, plenty.
So I'm talking about this Mark.
So this Mark, I would say his killing spree was probably when he was first kind of getting started.
Like fighting his dad, doing stuff that Cecil and them wanted to.
Yeah, and then also like going out and like handling things by himself and then basically dooming an entire Martian race to deal with an entire infectious brain parasite by themselves. And it's also like part of it too for me is you got to think about it too. Cecil is running a group. Yeah. He is running a group where one of them is called the Immortal, who is older, wiser, and stronger than Cecil. So he still has, like, if he can't be that assertive self in front of the kids and in this Immortal dude that is technically in charge of this whole team of superheroes, where one of them is also an adult that put himself into a teen body that is fighting in a robot that he is learning his emotions and stuff. I
just think the Professor Xavier style is a better path than the Magneto style.
Xavier wasn't honest.
Well, not completely honest, but like. Well, I mean, I guess you do got a point.
Yeah, but like he wasn't honest about being alive.
Yeah,
and look what's happening.
That man, but he had enough. He was like, all right, man. Look, man, my brain hurt. I fell in love.
He's like, I got this girl out in space.
But look, he tries to come at things from an honest perspective. He tries not to like if Cecil had his powers, he'd be in people's heads, no doubt, immediately. Like he wouldn't try to constrain himself. Like you have to like I said, I don't disagree with Cecil. I disagree with the way he handled it. Like I do think you have to like when there's a potential for somebody that could just end the world and we don't know how to kill them. Like one guy, he said, look, I agree with Cecil, blah blah blah. He was like, look, what I would have did is we would have been had like some DNA of them and had like a little Viltrumite army. I was like, look, if you have a way where this won't backfire on us, I am all ears. That is my problem. You create a bigger monster when they find out. When you try to kill them and fail, because you know how many times that happened? Majority of the time. That's the thing. Like, I just don't ever see it. We'd be like, whoo, thank God we had that switch. Like, and then we good. I've never seen that happen. Like, I've never seen that happen. I'm sure some, like, I haven't dove into the comics, but like, how long did it take to get Immortal like cool with everybody? How long?
Like a long time. Because he still hates everybody.
This is dangerous. You're setting all you're doing is setting the timer for the nuke longer. And it's baking.
Yeah.
It's just baking. Like I said, who knows what the right way? Who knows?
Right. Because like because like it's one of those things too, is like, how are you openly gonna go up to somebody like this and be like, look, we like you. Because look,
majority of these cats in these situations, when they get upset and having these temper tantrums, most of the time, what do they want to do? They want to be left alone. And they're like, oh, you can't just go out into space. We don't know what you're doing. We the government. We control everything. No, let him go away, please. Let him leave. But you secretly want to use him as a weapon, and that's the problem. That's usually the problem. It's not like they want to destroy the Earth immediately. It's like, all right, we're not seeing eye to eye. I want to go away. Leave left alone. Dr. Manhattan. I just want to go build my whole planet. Like, what? Leave me alone. I'm trying to control everything. I'm a teenager. But like I said, I could also come up to somebody and be like, look, man, we got to work something out, and they could kill me instantly. So I don't have all the answers. I might be dealing with the wrong one.
Yeah, because if you walk up to somebody and be like, hey, look, yeah.
I just want to be transparent. We be doing some shady shit.
Yeah.
I want to see if you just want to be in on this shady shit.
It's like, do you mind if we do some tests on your body to see what would hurt you the most? Just
Look. I ain't saying like I said, like the one dude, I did like his idea. I was like, if you have a way to collect some DNA and secretly,
he's a teenager. There's DNA all over the place.
That is so right. You are so right about that. Secretly, just say, Mark, I'm doing laundry.
Yeah, like,
don't touch that sock. Got it, guys.
The really stiff one right there.
You're holding that without a glove. Oops.
Nope.
Sorry.
And I'm infected.
Why does it burn? Oh my God, season 2.
Dude, yeah. Like, I mean, just I think my favorite part of it is just how he takes advantage of that heavy knight that is technically on his team, and he's just so indifferent about getting him killed and just being like, all right, well, now I'm going to use you. That was probably the coldest thing I've ever really experienced. He was just like, yeah, and like,
what are we gonna do here?
It's also the fact that he's like, none of these people can stop me. He's like, it would take like a true S-class guy on the other side of a gate that he can't even get through to get to me. But then
My
also like seeing his dad too, and his dad just being a beast is just so fitting.
that was cool because in the manhwa, you know, they show his dad and stuff, but I'm trying to remember. I hadn't read it in about 2 years or so, but I don't remember them interrogating him and things like that. I don't remember seeing him that much that early, but I loved it. I loved every bit of it. And then old boy that he had to threaten. That was
Mm. Mm.
yo.
Dude.
I mean, everything about this anime. It's like one of those animes. Each episode is just amazing. And like you were saying about people always needing something to complain about, they're complaining about this anime, and I cannot see how. Like they left out a couple things from the manhwa, but it's like filler training things.
Yeah. It's like
Nothing really that serious like that they left out at all. They're pretty much hitting the nail on the head with everything. And they did change the only thing they did change, they changed the high orc's name.
oh
His name was Tusk
yeah.
in the manhwa, and I think he's Fang now.
Yeah. And it's
It,
like
it, I I wasn't upset. It was a little annoying because it's like that's the same thing. It's
yeah.
like, it's like
So what are you trying to do?
it's just a different size tooth. Like that's all it is. So I'm not sure why they did that, but it was that fight.
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
dude, like
Egris is just so gangster. Like,
uh,
oh, I mean, even from the first season, his fight with Egris, that was just it still lives in my head rent free. Like that combo he did on Jinwoo. That Joe was sick.
just ruined.
And then
But
like why do they gotta make Jinwoo so cool? Like he he's like John Wick level cool, like John Wick
mhm,
1 without, you know, like being morose and things like that for a very
yeah,
good reason. But he's
you
just
know,
like got so much swag. Like he be talking trash.
just the confidence to walk past all of these like guild owners and just be like, fuck y'all.
I got I gotta go. Sorry guys. I got other things to
They're like,
do.
we have money. It's like, I don't really care.
And then another thing I love him and was John John who his sidekick. I love
Oh,
their I love their
there's
relationship on
dynamic.
I love their
He's like,
relationship on
well,
screen.
I guess I'll be your brother then.
Yeah, I
It's
was like,
like,
oh,
oh, that. Yeah, it's like, oh.
look, I'm a sucker for anime mushy gushy stuff. So
Yeah.
I love those moments. You know, when I was a kid, you know, I was more of a action, give me the scenes. Now
Mhm.
I like the slice of life. I like the stories. You know, I mean, Frieren was one of the best animes I've ever seen, and Vinland Saga was one of my favorite
Fantastic.
animes. Even season two, there's like 3 fights in the entire second season.
They were still great.
It's still great. It's still great. It's just the emotions was there. Oh my god,
Oh yeah.
you when you feel it for the anime characters. Oh, it makes the anime so much
Mhm.
better, so much better. And once again, I'm surprised they got a little bit of feeling in solo leveling. Like, you know, it seemed like it was just going to be a straight up action pack type thing. Like,
Yep. I think they're fitting it in at like those perfect moments where you're just like, all right, a lot kind of happened
yeah,
if you think
like
about it.
it's not just a sidekicks relationship that they're kind of like building on more. than they did in the manhwa. It's like everyone he interacts with, like him
Hmm.
and the other girl he
That he's like training. Yeah.
yeah, like that one, he went to save her and stuff like that. Hey, what's up, buddy?
And I think yeah, one of them is something we've always kind of touched on whenever it's a big thing that happens like this, but BioWare had a massive layoff. And it's specifically like a majority of the group that worked on Dragon Age the Veilguard, which I thought was pretty surprising. Like I understand, just like we've kind of been talking about in this session today too, where not everyone it's either a game you love or hate. And a lot of people are like, it's too woke. Like, why are their characters worrying about like being non-binary and stuff like that? It's like, why does that bother you? It's
It's weird hill to stand on right now.
yeah, right. It's like it's like whatever. But yeah, so they let go of majority of that staff, and it truly almost sounds like they're down to like maybe anywhere from 30 to 50 people left at Ubisoft. Or sorry, not Ubisoft, BioWare. So it sounds like the entire BioWare team is now solely focused on Mass Effect, which I love. Cool. Mass Effect, my favorite game series of all time. Mass Effect Andromeda, it took me a little bit to warm up to it. I truly did end up enjoying it for what it was. It's just some of the dialogue. You could very much tell those voice actors were just like there for the paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like it. So it sucked that like that was a big drawback for the game, but the overall environment and like the combat experience itself, I truly enjoyed those. So for the focus to be on Mass Effect with this new one that's coming out, where it's getting you back to Earth, it's getting you back to the Milky Way or the Soul Universe, as they call it, and you get to step back into that realm after like what your shepherd completed. So I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to kind of step back into those old shoes, and but but it's also a detriment because now there's all these workers that are just out there in the world where we're now dealing with a crazy amount of inflation. We're dealing with crazy gas, crazy grocery prices. We bought eggs from Aldi, fucking like $7.
You know, I saw earlier last week, late last week or early last week. I thought it was a meme at first. I thought it was a joke. A bodega in New York selling Lucy eggs,
Yeah,
like in like little Ziploc tied, like
dude,
little
yeah.
baggies, like three eggs in a bag, and I was like, that's fake, and I think it was real.
Yeah,
Like,
I wholeheartedly believe it. Oh, but anyways, getting distracted again. We aren't going to dive into all that. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
no,
But
no.
but so yeah, cool to see this much attention being thrown onto Mass Effect, and I get where you're coming from that it can be better sometimes to have a small group so there's less opinions getting thrown at you, and you can basically have the ability to filter out what needs to be filtered out. But it's tough. Like just to see all those people being let go, where obviously they're pretty talented. Like I enjoyed Dragon Age Veilguard, so I assume other studios like Obsidian or any other group that rolls in that RPG realm will pick them up pretty quick, hopefully.
Yeah.
And speaking of Obsidian, Avowed has recently been released. I haven't played it yet. It looks cool. I'm hearing mixed reviews. Still going to try it for myself and kind of see where it goes. But it is currently on Game Pass for anybody that has Xbox or Microsoft. So give it check it out. But yeah, so hopefully Mass Effect holds up. They
Yeah,
are kicking themselves in the ass for letting go of a decent amount of people.
I mean, they will. They usually will, especially when they do things like this to a degree to which they're doing it. We've been talking about this in several other podcasts about the constant massive layoffs throughout the gaming industry. So it's curious to see how things are going to play out in the future with,
Yep.
all these titles that needs to be made and all these games that are going to be coming out soon and all
Yeah.
these.
And exclusives no longer being exclusive.
Yeah, yeah, that as well. Xbox CEO had a funny statement about that, but he's saying he wanted to be transparent, but didn't want to be transparent if everything wasn't clear. I don't know.
Yeah, it
It
was
was weird.
weird.
It was weird. But look, you're gonna get your Xbox games and or your Xbox titles on your PS and possibly Switch
Mhm.
consoles. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah,
I
we're connecting in ways that have been done. So,
Yeah, I mean, I've
yeah,
always wanted to get an Xbox, but I just never got around to it. So this is probably the better avenue for me.
yeah, it's just going to work out better for everybody, I think. Well, I don't, actually, you know what? I might take that back. I don't know. I enjoy exclusives. I think that is what really fuels like the competition of gaming systems. But at the same time, each group has different goals. Sony and PlayStation, way more story driven. Well, like Xbox, Microsoft, they gave you access to the newest Call of Duty for free because they want you online playing with
Yeah,
other people.
much, since the beginning, Call of Duty has been much more community driven.
Hmm.
You know, um, PS is up there now because of games like that, but it's not really that different
Yep.
from the Xbox community. And I mean, even the Switch community, they're pretty big online and
Yep.
Smash Brothers. They have tons of games that people play online on the Switch. But
Yeah.
but
That's dicking in the realm of video games. Um, we do. There's been some reports going around that I'm gonna kill his name. Simu Liu, I think. I don't know. The
mm,
guy that played Shang-Chi, in the Marvel movies, he is in the works of trying to revive Sleeping Dogs. And Sleeping Dogs is speaking of exclusive, a PlayStation exclusive, I believe, if I remember correctly, where essentially you play as a undercover Chinese cop trying to work your way into the triads and help bring it down. But it's very conflicting for you because you grew up in the streets of this Hong Kong area. Then you left the area to become a cop, like you moved to the States and you become this LA detective and you move back trying to fix things and make your like home streets better. Very fun game. Very, very fun. It's a simplistic combat system, but at the same time, it achieves what it needs. They don't want to make it too intricate, like, those games, like some games like Kingdom Come Deliverance, where you have to attack certain parts of the body, where you have to get very technical with the fighting. It's not necessarily like that. It's quick, easy fights where you just get to take on a whole group all at once and feel like a badass with your martial arts. So it's
nice.
very, very cool. I hope he's able to run with this because he wants to have a second game made, and he also wants it to become like either a TV series or a movie that he hopefully gets to star in. So yeah, that is a big thing. And also Battlefield 6. That was also announced. And one of their main headlines for this is the campaign is back.
Mm.
So that'll be good to see because I I had fun with Battlefield 2042 online play. Always fun to just jump out of a jet, take out another jet with a rocket launcher, and then get back into yours. Like just badass. But yeah, hopefully the story can kind of help revive the series.
Yeah, Battlefield 2042 was wild. Like it had a lot of stuff in it, but all it had was that online play, and it got incredibly old, you know, that pretty quickly,
Mhm.
honestly. If you weren't just a diehard fan like that, it's fun for like a month or two, and then you come back to it every once in a while. But I hadn't played it in so long. especially since
Yeah.
the the new Call of Duty had came out.
Yeah.
Um,
Right.
but I'm interested in checking it out. I've got to find Sleeping Dogs. Like I haven't played it. I need to check that out. It's a game that I definitely would love to play. So
Yeah. 100%. It's so worth it. It's just like it's such a great view at like a different side of the world that we just kind of forget about, or at least like here, because like how often do we have truly ever think about anybody in any other country? We
yeah,
just don't. So
it
just to
kind of
like kind of see how the culture's reflected and just how well it's just brought into the game, and it's clearly like the team that did it, they did their research. They're like, we got to like make sure we're respectful of this, and they truly are. So it's just the great hidden gem of a game, in my humble opinion. The last little topic that I had is your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
mm,
I'm loving it. But yeah, no, I'm digging the overall vibe of the new Spider-Man series. It pays tribute to everything that came before it in truly like the best way. And I think the thing that I truly love the most is that Norman Osborn is a black man that has waves. Versus how he was in like the 90s with just like a white dude ginger with waves. And
but
like obviously that can happen, but I was like, that's not.
I'm going to say something, a petty moment. Everybody has one, right?
Yeah,
Am
go
I,
for it. I love
can I have the floor to be petty, sir? Your
Yes,
Honor.
Your Honor.
um, so I can't remember how it happened. It was a Facebook post, and oh yeah, somebody had posted about it was actually Demetrius Holt, the guy that we interviewed, Hellspawn
Hmm.
cosplay. He was saying, I'm actually upset at the guy who voices Spider-Man for making him wait so long to check out the show because his little comments from
Hmm.
before because it's actually a really good show. And I had to comment to him because the day before I had just started watching it because I was putting it off. I was like, I want to watch it, but that just rubbed me the wrong way. And my son was like, "Hey, you want to watch it?" I was like, "Fine, let's do it. Since you want to, let's do it."
Hmm.
And I saw his post about that, and I took a picture of my son watching it, and it was like the part where Norman Osborn was on the screen. I was like,
Hmm.
"That's fine," because to get back at him, the Black Osborns are going to be the only Osborns my son knows.
Got him.
It's like a petty moment. Look,
But
they have waves. Obviously, it's supposed to be.
like, come on. Come on. But yeah, anyways, moving on from that, overall the series itself, like I said, is paying tribute to everything that came before it. So, like I said, the Norman Osborn is more or less identical to who he is in the like '90s animated
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
they all they did was just change his skin color.
Yeah,
Like
he's identical.
maybe a little bit thicker in like the
Yeah,
face, but yeah.
but yeah, identical. So they paid homage to that. His relationship with Aunt May is the exact same relationship you see in like Spider-Man: Homecoming with Tom Holland. So nice little homage to that. A little
Harry,
homage,
not so
yeah.
much.
Harry, not so much. Harry's different. Harry is very different so
Harry,
far.
real different.
Very, but and then that's the nice little like nod to the overall Avenger universe as well is when Norman Osborn is introduced to the series, he shows up at Peter's apartment like Tony Stark did in the movie, where all of a sudden he's just at the house and Aunt May is like, but
Yeah,
yeah, I think like the way that they're just like kind of throwing those nods to just everything and just being like, we understand what this is. We understand how much Spider-Man means to a lot of people. So like,
Yeah, and
that's
they
nice to see.
they had said that before going, and I guess everybody is just, gatekeepers. And, sometimes rightfully so, you got to make sure you're not just giving the keys to anybody, but, people are vetted. People are tired of getting yelled at by the people for getting things wrong. I mean, look, they changed Sonic's shoes when we asked them to. They're listening somewhat, solo leveling. They are killing it, when you put it up panel by panel, they're knocking it out the park. So, some people are learning. I haven't heard too many complaints about Invincible being too different. I heard some things, but not too much.
I mean, if you look at the current rating for Invincible on Rotten Tomato, I think it's like 100% or 99%. So,
oh yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. I would not doubt it. Although right now I'm looking on Amazon, it has 4 stars. Who?
someone's trolling 100%.
Probably the people that didn't get the part.
It's the same people that were very upset that they they changed how Lola Bunny looks.
Not my Lola.
Not my Captain America.
Not my Ariel. Nah, but yeah, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is turning out to be amazing. Like,
and the animation style is just cool too. I really loved it.
Like, I'm not against the animation style. It's just like going in. It's not my favorite, like that 50s, but the spin they did on it's like a 50s 3D-ish. I don't know. It's like a weird style to it, and I love it.
Like
I love it.
It's truly like a moving comic strip. Like just what it reminds me of, and I really dig that.
Yeah, I like it way more than I thought it did, and Spider-Man's great. All the characters are killing it. They're killing it.
We have a problem. It's a Gundam.